Morning, everyone. Welcome to Laurel Park. Naomi Tucker, joined by Tim Tallick this morning. Tim, glad to have you with us here today. Stronach 5 Friday. I know that you're the man for that.
Well, I don't know if I'm the man for that, but I give it a good try every week. Last week, unbelievable. One winning ticket, $99,000. Congratulations if you had it. Clearly, I'm still here. I didn't. But a big day of the Stronach 5.
As usual, the Stronach 5 pays out big time, and you see the sequence here for this week. We kick things off with our race number 7, leg B, Gulfstream Park, race 8, leg C, back with us again, same number of race 8 as well. And then we transfer to the West Coast for Golden Gate Field race 2, and then the final leg is back in Florida again, Gulfstream Park, race 9. Always a good sequence here. Looking forward to having Santa Anita Park back as well when they start their meetup too. So we have all the Stronach family within the sequence, but nationwide, testing your skills, not an easy wager, but it duly pays out because it is a tricky sequence, a tricky challenge, but overlay city.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that what they're saying?
It's been overlay city. There's no doubt about that. And I've learned, don't get smart at the out-of-town tracks. If you're going to get a little clever, do it at your home track, a single your home track where you really know your horses a little bit better. And if you're unsure at the Golden Gate Fields or Santa Anita's, spread it a little bit there. But I've learned that, you won't see me singling at Golden Gate Fields too often anymore. You've
tried that.
I've tried.
You've tried.
I've tried and failed. But it's better to try and fail than never tried at all.
I think on that note, we will move along to some of the other incentives coming up here at the Maryland Jockey Club. We do have Thanksgiving weekend coming to us next week. We have stakes on the Friday and the Saturday, 5 stakes races in total. So much action, but also, of course, we do have that pie giveaway, don't we, Tim?
I know. I think you're more excited about the pie giveaway than you are the stakes. But yeah, Thanksgiving Day is a big day. The pie giveaway with program purchase while supplies last, donuts, coffee, cider, hot chocolate, the Thanksgiving Day buffet, which is always really, really good. Special post time, 11:25 a.m. Just go to laurelpark.com/Thanksgiving. Get all the information, but it's a great day. It's a great way to warm up your Thanksgiving Day before you have to go home and deal with family and friends, which is sometimes fun and sometimes not.
See, so I've never really celebrated Thanksgiving before, so this is kind of my first year properly celebrating. So I'm excited about the pies on offer and definitely the dinner afterwards as well. So for me, this is just like Christmas in a way. This is all new, and I'm excited, and hopefully you can all come and join us here at Laurel Park. I certainly would love to see everyone queuing up for the pie giveaway, because as much as you say that I won't, I will. In between, I'll find a way. It's gonna happen. Let's have a look at the track conditions here. We are on the turf. We have a fast main track, a good turf. Great to see us back on the turf. It's had the chance to dry out here. Look, it's a little bit chillier today than it was yesterday, but we like that for the horses.
Oh, this is great running weather. They like a cool weather. The wind is blowing. It comes across a little harsh at times, but I think it will settle down as the day goes on. A little overcast, although a little sunshine out there right now. But this will be a good day of racing here at Laurel Park.
It certainly will be. Let's get going with the first race on the card. Start of the early pick 5 here, and I decided to create a ticket for us today. I must admit, I had to trim it down a little bit. I actually went deeper than this. Ended up on the $72 ticket. I was like, okay, that's a bit too much. So slimmed it down to $48 flat. First race, I go 4, 7, and 9. But you know what? This first race is wide open. We are on the turf. 1 mile, and we do have a couple of horses that are able to line up in here, including the AE Love My Cat, the number 13. So do you have a chance to see if you want to include this 4-year-old filly in there? I decided to opt against, but I would understand if you go deeper in that first leg. Race number 2, nickel claimers for the fillies. I go the 4 and the 6. ARBUTUS has been incredibly tenacious as of late. I think she could make it happen here again, but if not, I use this Congress Hall on the outside, who definitely will sit a nice tactical trip for my Junior. Race number 3, I go too deep in there using the 1 and the 6, bet the over, 1 and the 7, bet the over, and All for Love. I had Prince of Portland in there, the number 8 for Brittany Russell. If you have funds, add the number 8 in there too. Ended up trimming that 2-year-old out there, but definitely think that if anyone's capable of preparing a horse to transfer figures from the turf to the dirt, it's Brittany Russell. 4 deep in race 4. I think this is wide open. The maiden 16, 2, 3, 5, and 6, and then the 1 and the 6 in race number 5 for a $48 flat. Early pick 5. 5 ticket. We are on the turf. The first race is claiming 16 to 12,500. Non-winners of 2 a lifetime for the fillies and mares 3-year-old and up. And we'll start this with a video spotlight on the number 4 Smart Entry, who I use in my exacta for trainer Crystal Pickett, who he actually broke with the field before getting in tight between runners. You can see it here. They kind of forcefully squeezed them out there, didn't they? And he drops far back.
Yeah, the 6 starts to come out right about here. The 8 is coming in a little bit, but the 6 does most of the damage there. And then Mr. Trotman just has to take back a little bit, and he's back at the back of the pack. Listen, I was all over the place in this race. I thought this race was very, very tough. And in full disclosure, if you looked at my tip sheet, my picks this afternoon are totally different than my tip sheet. With the course coming up good, I had to make changes. I originally had this one on top, Smart Entry. Their numbers work. There's no doubt about that. But, boy, hasn't been getting the results. Just is running and getting beat 8, 9 lengths. And the last time this one ran at this level, where it's 2 for 16 on a course rated good, he got beat off. She got beat off 6 lengths while running 7th. So I adjusted my picks. I still have her in the mix, but she went to the bottom of my list.
Well, she broke her maiden winning on a yielding turf course at Pimlico, so I feel that could kind of go either way. She does need to sit the trip. I think that with her higher knee action, which we also saw in that video, she can navigate whatever cut is in the ground. But look, this is a wide open field.
Wide open.
I'm glad to see that we landed on the same top selection, though. The number 9, Betcha by Golly, drops comparatively speaking from the last time that she was on the turf at allowance level. Did well in the summer behind I Love You and getting away with slower fractions early. Might try to apply the same trick here, trying to go to the front and lead them a fair bit.
Well, you go back to her last race when she dropped to a life low in that 2 for 16 that came off the turf. She ran a really nice race. She runs third. She gets beat 3.5 lengths. So now she's dropping to a lifetime low on the grass. And if you go back to those races at the end of July and early September, in those 2 allowance races, now one of those races she gets beat off 14 lengths, but the race before she went off on the break, which was in that state bred allowance race, was a good race behind I Love You, running 2nd. If she could run back to that, you could go back and lean on that Belmont race also. But, I think if she shows the improvement at this level that she did on the main track, it appears that she's a little bit better on the turf. It could be good enough.
Yeah, and let's talk about your exacta play in here. The Magical Charm for James Toner. Carol Cedino remains on board. One last time out on good going the mile at Delaware. Has that sort of higher draw to hopefully slot in and get a bit of a stalking position.
Yeah, I'm not big on using first against winner type horses as this one is today, but she ran a good solid number. She was a pretty easy winner that afternoon. When she dropped to the maiden 16. I think she's found a good group here to take on winners for the first time. And she's had 4 works since for Jimmy Toner. Carol Cedeno returns. Not my favorite thing to do, not going to lie about it, but I was kind of all over the place. But I decided that she, when getting to this level, this is her level. She showed it in the maiden 16. She'd come back in here against a group like this and be okay.
I feel like it's not an easy race to start the sequence with at all.
No doubt.
So if you have a strong opinion here, perhaps a bit of a price play could definitely go a long way. Race number 2, nickel claiming 3-year-old and upwards for the ladies. 1 turn, 1 mile. Both of us landed on the same top selection again. Use horses in different order underneath. Congress Hall for trainer Marius Ray Jr. She went against 8 grand claimers, 3 starts back, and only just missed there by a neck. She's ever consistent. She's rarely out of the money. She's very much race fit. She's been racing every 2 weeks or so, and she has a good high draw as well that I think will work in her favor.
Yeah, I mean, you go back to that Laurel race in October. That was a big race back in June at Pimlico, but her last 2 races have been good efforts. Now, she ran into 2 horses that are really happening right now. One is Arbutus in her last start, and Calypso Ghost, who's working on a 3-win win streak as we speak. So I think this works for her. She's back in the 5,000 here this afternoon. Now, this is the wide open 5,000. She's coming out of the beaten 5,000 where she got beat. But her lifetime best, as we just talked about, came in this wide open nickel race 3 races back. So I think we're on the right horse in today's second.
I hope so. Let's have a look at the video on the number 4 Arbutus, though. She was the early leader around the first turn on the backside, headed by heavy favorite who you see there on her outside, Fairy Wish, around the home straight. but she wasn't letting her go by. It looks like she's done here, right? Fairy Wish, the heavy favorite, got her nose in front of her, but she comes back. She shows hot on the inside here. I thought this was strong.
Well, who knew? Who knew she had this in her?
Right?
I mean, you look at her before she starts to open up here. She has her head turned, and she's looking the 6 right in the eye. She's not trying to get in. She's just turning and looking.
Yeah.
And she's found a whole different perspective. Her last 2 races, she's run really, really well. That was a fantastic race because she looked beat, didn't she?
Yeah.
But she kept on. She
Absolutely.
kept on trying all the way down there. The race before, you can't leave her out. We both use her. I use her toward the bottom. I think this is a little bit tougher. Those were beaten races. She's stepping up to the open company this afternoon. But boy, you cannot take anything away from her, and she's going to be laying close early, as she always does.
Yeah, she showed a bit of an attitude as well
She
that I
did.
liked. I
She
thought,
did.
you know what, that's what you need at this level to get the win on board. Race number 3, claiming 25,000, a mile and an eighth around the 2 turns here. The distance, both you and I, we'll just keep going with our top selections here, Tim. Clearly we're in unison today. I hope that means we're correct. I ended up making All for Love, the number 7, actually my best bet of the day. Jerry Robb at Laurel over the last 2 weeks, 5 from 14, 37% winners, 50% in the money. The stable's on fire. I think that she could sit back and sit out the distance here. When she hit the wire 2 starts ago, breaking, made it over 7, comfortable, in hand, going strongly, making me think that with that running style, as well as what she showed over 7, the mile and an eighth should be okay for her.
I think the mile and eighth will be okay for her, and I wouldn't be surprised. She's going to be in a very contending position early. Look at Jerry's a very good sprint around. Along with all the other numbers, about 20%. But this one, 2 races ago, laid reasonably close midway through the race, going 7/8 of a mile. Some speed down toward the inside, but going a mile and eighth, she's going to be very, very well placed for Xavier. And I think this works for her this afternoon. And she came back. She ran a nice race. He ran a nice race in the Maryland Nursery also. That only gave me 6 lengths that day while sprinting. But I like the stretch out here for All for Love.
I agree with you. You use Prince of Portland in your exacta. I was just indicating that in my early pick 5, I ended up cutting him. But if you do have space, don't sit on the Brittany Russell trainee. 2 next out winners, included Rusty's Give 50, came out of that race, that turf race going long. Look, I keep saying has to translate, but we do know that Brittany Russell, like you said, but Jerry Robb, Brittany Russell also have terrific stats on nearly everything, including moving runners from the grass to the main track.
Well, not only that, this one's by Orb out of an Awesome Again mare. Okay, yeah, they can turf, but they don't need to exclusively turf. I think this one makes a transition to the main track here this afternoon without any type of issue at all. Can run back to that turf race and that number that he ran at Delaware in his last start. I think that's well within the realm of possibility. A few works since that race on September 29th. We know how tough Brittany is. I think it works for Prince of Portland this afternoon in my exacta.
Yeah, I respect him. I used bet the over in my exacta. Career best performance when getting his first win at Delaware last time out. That was around 2 turns. That was his first time going around 2 turns. I think he massively improved because of it. So second time going longer, I think we can continue building on it.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, this is a horse who's gotten better with every start and has never run a bad race. I mean, he was second first time out of the box. He gets beat to an easy winner, gets beat 6 lengths, comes back with a good race, and then comes back with a win with figures that are going the right way. No doubt about it. And Timothy Greiser's always tough when he comes to Maryland.
And that is race number 3. Race number 4 is the start of the Rainbow Pick 6. And I know that our analyst, Callie Francois, created a ticket for us. Let's see how she sees today unfold. Wow, I love this. Look at that. 3 and 5 in race number 4, going tight here in that first leg. And then she has a single on the number 1, striking it lucky for trainer Gary Capuano. Look, he needs to get away better. But if you look at the program, I think, remember we were talking about this, the 5 buyer must be a misprint because his time form US figures absolutely stack up for that second at that -2 lifetime. So I love that pick. Gutsy single there. And then in race number 6, she goes very deep. 2, 3, 8, 12, 13, and 15. 5.5 furlongs. That is a wide open first level allowance. I landed on the number 15, Rock the Boat is my top pick, but that's a great go. They're hoping to get a price. And then in race number 7, she goes 4 deep using the 1, the 2, the 9, and the 10. And then she starts kind of going a little bit tighter again. 5, 7, and the 8 here in that starter allowance. And then final race on the cards, she used the 1 and the 2, Auction Kingdom and Accelerator. 7 furlongs the distance, $57.60 ticket. So key is here, those first 2 legs. And then it's all about hoping to get the prices home. I really like the structure of this ticket here. That starts in race number 4. 7 furlongs the distance here, maiden 16 claimers. And Tim, we'll start with your top selection in here, who I use underneath the number 6, Unique Time. Not this time 2-year-old for Rudy Sanchez Solomon. Bolted away from the gate last time I watched that race, putting as much as 5 lengths between him and the only chaser in the field. So it looked like about 8 lengths between him and the pack. Way too much too soon. Got swallowed by the field. We're trying again today.
We're trying again today. My price play of the day, 15-1 on the line. Look, this is second time Rudy Sanchez Solomon. This horse just shipped up prior to that start on October 9th. Wasn't in Rudy's barn that long. Now he's had some time in Rudy's barn. A couple works here, November 4th from the gate, November 11th. We know that these horses get a little bit better in Rudy's barn. He's taking a drop in class. And I just look at this horse and say to myself, there's more there. There has to be more there. They didn't pay $75,000 for this one in March at OBS because he couldn't pick up his feet.
Well, clearly he's very fast, but only for about 2 furlongs or so,
but
4 furlongs.
But now this one's been in Rudy's barn. I think this one shows marked improvement this afternoon. May show some speed, maybe not. But I'm sure this will be a better horse that's a little bit more rideable than he's shown in the past.
Look, I love the angle. I definitely feel that there's something there. I use him underneath. I landed on the 5, Shake 'Em Loose for trainer Hamilton Smith. Came running on late despite a wide berth in his last race. Went in for the tag for the first time. I think the added 1 furlong here works fine. I think he stands over these, quite frankly. And I think Shake 'Em Loose, this is probably the best chance he's ever had of winning, getting his first win on board.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you look at that 1-turn mile back in September. That was a really, really nice race. He comes back and runs the same type of race going 7/8 a mile. He goes straight to the winner's circle. And I was back and forth, as you see, he's in my exact. I was back and forth, and I decided that I really wanted to give Unique Time a shot at a price. So I'm going there. But, yeah, no, there's nothing that says this horse can't get it done this afternoon, taking a little drop in class from the maiden 25 to the maiden 16 this afternoon, has that win going a mile, works.
See, I think one of the most intriguing horses in this field, aside from the 6, who you already mentioned, the number 2, I'm Not Slow for trainer Claudio Gonzalez, was of interest to the bettors after his break. Missed the kick. They brought him back to the gate with the blinkers on. Blinkers are on in this race. If he gets away cleanly, who knows what he can do?
And we've seen horses like this of Claudio's time and time again, where their form was a little dirty. It's taken a little time, made some adjustments, and they come back and run. I think we just saw it the other day or last weekend. The horse, I can't remember, but we've seen it time and time again. Yes, no doubt about that. On my ticket for sure.
Yeah, agree. I went 4 deep there in race 4 because I don't want to sit on that Claudio Gonzaga run. That might just absolutely jump up and bolt away with the field. We'll be back shortly. So we're just going to go to commercial right now. Welcome back to Laurel Park. Race number 5 of 9. Don't forget, race number 7 started at Tronic 5 as well. But in race number 5, Nickel Claim is known as a 2 lifetime. Mile and 16 around the 2 turns. And Tim, you landed on Striking It Lucky as your top choice. Cali Francois single in the Rainbow Pick 6 sequence for trainer Gary Capuano. Look, he does need to get away better, doesn't he?
He's got to get away better. And now he breaks from the fence. So a good break's going to be important because you don't want to give, even though it's a mile and 16, you're breaking from the fence. You don't want to give up a whole lot of ground, get a whole lot of horses in front of you. But there's no doubt about it. This was a big race at Laurel Park in his last start where he ran 3rd that particular day. He's stepping back. He's dropping back down to this 2 lifetime level. I don't know what the deal is with that Delaware race where we talked about it. He got beat a neck running second. I mean, they didn't run particularly fast. 147, mile 16, but they didn't run particularly slow
To give
either.
you some background, I looked up the time from US figures. For his last race, he got a 67. For that race before, he got a 70. And that race before that, an 81 time from US. So just comparatively speaking, he didn't go backwards in that race.
Yeah,
so we'll see what we make of
that.
that.
To look up the winner, see what the winner ran for a buyer speed figure, but that certainly doesn't work. But yeah, he's going to have to get away. He doesn't want to give up a ton of ground. There's some other horses in here who are a little scary to me. So, he's still my top pick. He looks like he can win this race this afternoon, but I don't think he's a gimme. I thought that was a very, very brave single, to be honest with you.
I think it's a brave single, but I like it, though, because I use him in my exact, and I thought he did pretty decent. They actually quickly tried to look up the winner there. The winner did get a 55 buyer, so I think it must have been a misprint, because if the winner got a 55, he must have got, a 54, if that, because he ran him down by like a
53, neck, whatever. Yeah.
So there you go. That's the answer. Probably a misprint. If you have the early cut or the later cut, might have changed that over. But let's talk about the horse that I use on top, and you have in your exact. We just kind of flipped our selections around there. The number 6, El Equalizer, for trainer Rudy Sanchez-Solomon. We were just talking about how good Rudy Sanchez-Solomon has been doing. This runner took them coast to coast 2 starts ago. That was before a bit of a summer/fall break for him. In his last outing, coming back after that break, he was part of a blistering 3-way pace early. It tired him. I don't think they will be going as fast in this spot. It seemingly sets up for a horse to take the race by the horns and perhaps run away with it.
Look, this is going to be second off the break for Rudy. Now, Rudy dropped back, then punted after the October 10th race. Probably not what he was looking for. Comes back with 4 works since that race on October 10th. Drops to the 2 lifetime 10,000. Well, that's where he belongs. He broke his maiden for the maiden 10th. So we're back in a favorable spot here today. And those 2 races before he went on the shelf in July win this race. I mean, they simply win this race. If he can run back to either one of those, they win this race. So you can't toss him. Interesting horse to me is 3, Money in the Banksy. We both use them. We know Christine Claggett and Ty Liapostino can wreck a lot of lives. They'll win, and they'll win at a big price. Yeah. As you see, you're looking at his win at Penn National. That was at almost 18-1. He just gets beat at almost 24-1 and just gets beat at almost 6-1. So, yes. That horse is interesting to me today. Speed down toward the fence.
Yeah, I use them underneath as well. Race number 6, first level allowance, 5.5 furlongs on the turf. This is a wide open affair. I love this race. I'm really looking forward to this. This is the prime betting opportunity, I feel, of today. Let's start with the number 15, Rock the Boat, who I have as a top selection. We do have a video spotlight on his last race where he didn't get away as strongly there. Excuse me, that was 2 races before. Step slow, you see him move towards the inside. Unfortunately for him, then in his last outing, he also didn't get away as quickly. But what I did like is that he sat behind the pack. Forest Boyce was very patient with him, kind of just, settled and said, we'll bide our time. Finds a seam late. Once we do get to the stretch, you'll see he's kind of still waiting here, right? He still has to.
On the fence there.
Forest Boyce is waiting for a gap to appear. She kind of has to move around here. It is, and then you also see that the number 4, Prince Pear, who's in this as well. Rock the Boat finds his seam, bursts through when he gets through. Prince Pear, hard-knocking runner, turns up every single race. I use him in here as well. Look, this is a wide open field. You can see these 2 going for it. Rock the Boat just a touch stronger there than Prince Pear late, despite the trouble early.
Yeah, I guess my opinion is it's not as wide open if Rock the Boat can get away clean. Doesn't need to get away great. Just needs to get away clean, put himself in a decent position where he's not too far outrun, and then I think it becomes pretty apparent that Rock the Boat is the class of the field. But he's got to do that, and 3 of his 4 starts in his career, he hasn't.
Not.
So he's going to have to do it today from the outside without a horse on the outside of him to give him a little guidance, which is a concern for me. But look, his numbers stand up, no doubt about that. He ran 2 lengths, Grateful Bread, in the Maryland Turf Sprint. That's a serious race. So, yes, he's probably the horse to beat, but he's got to get away.
Yeah, and he didn't get away in that Maryland Tour sprint last time out either. And then he was quite keen and green around the bend, was trying to get out with Forrest.
Yes,
and
I forgot
despite
about that.
all of that
Yes,
trouble,
that's
still
right.
came running down the center of the lane. Now, kind of, didn't help himself, but feels like he's kind of the raw talent in here. If he puts it all together, should be the one to get the victory.
Really green in the Maryland.
He tried to break out.
Yeah.
He literally, Forrest kind of, was really closing her legs and had to sit down to keep a hold of him to make sure that he wasn't breaking out on the bend, because he was trying to. So let's hope Javian is gonna ate his Weetabix this morning and make sure that he keeps him to the straight and narrow here. But look, I think he is the best horse in this field. Let's hope he makes it happen. You landed on the number 8 though. I had him on and off my ticket. Just Wave and Smile for trainer Dale Capuano. It does seem that this is going to be the class test for him here. This is the toughest field he's seen thus far on the turf. So he'll have to make it happen.
I don't know. I mean, first of all, again, for full disclosure, I changed my picks from the tip sheet because I was all over the place in this race.
Didn't your daughters always say you pick, you stay?
Yeah, they do, but they do what I say, not what I do.
Okay.
Hey, listen, I don't know. I mean, those wide open 12.5s, they're tough races, and that's what he's coming out of. He's coming out of that wide open 12.5. He runs a lifetime best. He runs this race the right way on a good course. He lays right off the pace. Right. Good courses, it's hard. I've found it's hard for horses to close from real deep because everyone's going the same speed from the top of the stretch to the wire, or pretty much. So you have to be reasonably close. I think this sets up for Just Wave and Smile this afternoon in very, very good form. Since returning to the races in May for Dale Capuano, I think this just works up and down. And, of course, you're getting Georgia Ruiz and Capuano. They've been very tough.
They've been doing incredibly well. We have to move along here for the sake of time. Race number 7, 6 furlong the distance, claiming 10 to 8,000 Omen is a 2 lifetime here. Let's start with the fact that this is the start of the Stronach 5. And Tim, I'm going to give you the honors here. First race is here with us at Laurel Park, Gulfstream Park then next, and back with us again. Golden Gate Fields, Gulfstream Park. I know you had a look at the sequence. How are we playing this today?
I did. I had to trim a little bit, but here we go. Leg A. I used the 3, the 9, and 10. That's here at Laurel Park. Now, even though I said maybe not single when you're on out-of-town track, if you're going to single on a guy like Safi Joseph at Gulfstream, there's my single in Leg B. Leg C back here at Laurel Park, 178. Spread in Leg D, Golden Gate Fields. I've been burnt there too many times. 1, 2, 3, 7. And Leg E, I go the 7, 8, 9. $108 ticket for the Stronach 5. We'll talk more about that ticket later. You can find all our tickets. Go to laurelpark.com. Hit the daily picks, and poof, they appear.
They do indeed. 6 furlong the distance, race number 7. Let's start with a video spotlight on the number 10. Stay In, who basically got badly thrown around after the break. You can see him there, left, right, and center. A whole sort of bumper car situation going on there. Hence ends up further back, plenty left to do. Aggressive down the lane, but couldn't get to big, tall dog. But I thought it was a good race from him despite all of that.
Well, he ran a really, really good race because the run he's running now, he started at the half-mile pole. And it's hard for a horse to sustain that run for a half mile, and he digs in. I mean, this is a really, really big race for him. He tries all the way down there. Had to start his run a little bit too early, and he just gets a little flat. You see him swap back off to his left lead as he gets a little tired. But that was a game race. He was used hard from the half-mile pole to the 3/16 to get in position. And he really hung in there gamely. But he just got tired. End of story.
You landed on the number 1, Gail wins. So did I. Drops back down in class for trainer Jerry Robb. Went up against the inform. I'm a star boy. Last time that he was on the main track, that was at allowance level. Relatively speaking, you think that this is easier.
Yeah, and that was a Stidham horse, if I recall. I'm a star boy, if I recall. Yes, look, he's getting 3/4 for the first time in his career. He's getting back on the main track where he's run well against Tougher, the race you just pointed out. I think this will work. We know Rob's been tough. Xavier Perez, I like him this afternoon. I really like the 3/4 for him. I really like the 3/4 form.
I think that will work as well. Race number 8, starter allowance here, 6 furlong the distance. I've applied price pay on the number 3. I'll quickly mention Revolutionary Road. Look, this is an open field. This gelding has run hard and honest in his last race, going 7 furlong, back to 6 furlongs. I think that's fine for him. We'll have to employ some of his stalking tactics, like when winning 2 in a row at Pimlico earlier this year.
Yeah, he's going to be close. I mean, I wouldn't surprise me if he's in front. To be honest with you, but he's going to be very, very close. Rockefeller's has shown some speed. There might be some speed the outside. I land on the 7. His name is Sue. You know exactly. Look, this is a 13-time winner. Absolutely maintained his form. It's going all the way back to last February.
Incredible.
Doesn't
Incredible
miss
run.
it. Look at the year he's had. 13 starts, 5 wins, 5 seconds, 2/3. Numbers are strong. If you translate them to Laurel, we've seen Chrysler horses do this before. Big ride yesterday from William Ortero up on the inside of the Dale Capuano horse.
Yep.
If you recall, Boss Logic beat Boss Logic up the
Boss
fence.
Logic there late, who was
William
my
Arturo.
top selection.
Yep.
I
so
remember.
we know Arturo can ride. Rode him a few times out there at Penn National. Good rider.
Final race on the card is race number 9, 7 furlongs the distance. Their maiden claimer is 16 to 12,500. Let's talk about your top selection first. Auction Kingdom, 4-trainer Hamilton Smith gets a slight relief in distance as well as in class. Made an aggressive move in his last outing before flattening out there to that second wire.
And turns back to 7/8 of a mile. Should work for him. This race is wide open. If you're using your late pick 5s, pick 6, I would go as deep as you can. The 2 for Jamie Ness. Exaggerator? Exaggerator. There we go. Exaggerator. We'll consult Dave Rodman. Another one that's dropping in class. That's the theme. The 3, Uncle Gary G. Dropping in class, getting blinkers, first time gelding. A lot going on here.
Plus with the McMahon bomb for the first time here as well. So a lot of angles to use there.
Then you got the Trombetta horse, the 6, Dr. Rags, dropping from the 40 to the 12.5, getting blinkers on. That horse has got to improve, right?
Yep, by virtue of dropping back down significantly in class as well, and being in for the tag for the first time in his career as we move on to lightning round. Got a quick update for you on the jockey standings here. Javian Toledo narrowly keeps his top position here. Georgie Ruiz on fire, really breathing down his neck, but so is Horatio Caramanos.
Yeah, they're going right along, and all 3 of those riders have good barns behind them. Clearly, Brittany Russell for Javian, Dale Capuano for Georgie, Horatio, Ferris Allen, but he gets the job done for just about everybody. But look, there's a lot of riders, Angel Cruz, J.D. Acosta, they're all having really, really solid meets. Forrest Boyce, Michael Sanchez, you can go down the list, having good solid meets.
Absolutely. And then for the trainers' standings as well, Claudio Gonzalez remains at top 24 wins next to Brittany Russell. Dale Capuano doing well as well. And like you highlighted, Trombetta, Jerry, Robb, we have a lot of trainers doing incredibly well. Competitive scene. It's a treat to try and handicap and watch and follow the standings as they continue to move along. But of course, Claudio has the firepower and has really been going well as of late.
Started slow at the beginning of this meet because there was a lot of grass racing. As the grass racing starts to dwindle, Claudio will draw off. Predict he wins this one pretty easily at the end of the day.
Yeah, Maryland Spectacular Day returns here. We do have plenty coming your way aside from the Thanksgiving Day weekend. 2 Maryland bred stakes. Those are the juvenile stakes, pair of juvenile stakes that is on the December the 4th that will feature. As we move along to the Eclipse coming up as well. Tickets have gone on sale for the 51st Eclipse Award at Santa Anita Park on February the 10th. Tickets are available, $425 each, $4,000 for a table of 10. And this is the first time that the Racing Nights of Champions will be held on the West Coast since 2012. I know I will be watching. It's always a treat to see the stories behind these champions, and of course, who will take home the honors.
Yeah, well, we have some bosses, got some connections that maybe they'll buy a table for us, and we'll go out there and we'll attend.
We'll have to pitch this. That will do it for us this morning.
We're already dead in the water. Forget about it.
Great. We'll be back in a couple of minutes or so. You and me on set. Callie Francois will be giving us her paddock picks as well. Next up will be Dave Rotman with the scratches and changes.